Hey boys and girls, Miss Painter here. I miss you guys so much. All of you third graders, I know that you are working hard, and I promise that your teachers are seeing how hard you are working. So today I'm going to teach you a lesson about point of view. So I'm going to put my point of view glasses on. Okay, so point of view. Point of view is an attitude that a person has about something. Okay? This something can be a person, it can be a place, it can be a thing, an idea, or an event, even a situation, a topic, or an issue. So another word for point of view is perspective, okay? When authors write informational texts, a lot of times they are going to have a point of view about whatever it is that they're writing about. So the author will give his or her thoughts and opinions about something in a text. And so when they do that, you've got to use those clues to determine what their point of view is about the something that they have written about. You might agree with the author's point of view, or you might not. Your point of view are your thoughts and opinions about something. Your point of view may be different from others. It may be the same as others, and that's okay. Our point of views are often determined by our life's experiences. So let's practice trying to find the point of view in a text. I'm going to read this text to you, and I want you to listen. Schools have rules against students chewing gum in class because it is messy. Many times in schools, chewed gum has been found stuck under desks, on the floor, or walls. However, I have seen how allowing students to chew gum in my class can actually be beneficial. Chewing gum helps students to focus more on their work. Chewing gum also helps students to relieve stress and relax. I believe that if students were allowed to chew gum in school, that they would not try to hide it under desks, on floors, or walls when they were done, but throw it in the trash where it belongs. I think schools should give chewing gum another chance. All right, so let's practice with that. So, what do you think is the author's point of view in the passage about chewing gum in school? Yeah, so basically the author is saying that he or she thinks that chewing gum in school is beneficial, that it's a good thing. What were the author's reasons for his or her point of view? Absolutely. The author told us that chewing gum helps students to focus more, and it also helps to relax them and relieve their stress. What is your point of view about chewing gum in school? I figured that most of you would probably want gum to be allowed in school. How is your point of view about chewing gum the same or different from the author's? So if you thought chewing gum in school should be allowed, then your point of view was the same. If you feel like there's no place for gum in school, that you shouldn't chew gum in school, then your point of view was different from the author's. So here's another example. I have a book here called Civil Engineering. And I'm going to read just a section of this book, and we're going to determine the author's point of view about engineering. What is civil engineering? Nearly all the structures around us are made by civil engineers. Civil engineers shape our environment. They can build skyscrapers over 100 stories high and bridges that span great rivers. They build dams that provide water and electricity for millions of people. They cut tunnels under city streets and below the seabed. They build railways across deserts, roads, and through mountain ranges. Even the smaller things that civil engineers build are important, such as drains that keep cities free from disease or seawalls that protect the coast from floods. Okay, so when we think about the author's point of view about civil engineering, I would say that the author probably thinks that civil engineers are pretty important, and that the author's point of view would be that civil engineers have an important job. And when you look at all of the evidence here, it lists that they shape our environment. They build skyscrapers and bridges, dams that provide water and electricity. They cut tunnels. They build railways across deserts, roads, and through mountain ranges. It says even the smaller things that civil engineers build are important. So the author's given us lots of reasons behind why he or she believes that civil engineering is important. I want you to remember that point of view also means perspective, okay? It also means giving your thoughts and opinions about something. And I can definitely tell that the author thinks that civil engineers are very important. Okay, so that's another example of finding point of view. And I want you to think, after you heard this paragraph about civil engineering, what's your point of view about it? You think it's pretty important? If so, your point of view would be the same as the author's. All right, here's one more I'm going to share with you. This is from the Everything Kids Baseball book. And this is about Steve Carlton. They just called him Lefty because many considered him the greatest lefty to ever pitch. Carlton came up in 1965, and in 1971, he won 20 games for the first time in his career. Surprisingly, he was then traded to the Phillies, where in 1972, he won 27 games and had earned a run average of 1.97, leading the league. He also had over 300 strikeouts that year and won the coveted Cy Young Award in 1972 as the best pitcher in the National League. He won the award 3 more times in his long career. By the time Carlton retired, he was the 9th all-time pitcher in wins, and he still ranked 2nd all-time in strikes out. Although he never liked to talk with sports writers very much and kept to himself, the baseball writers had no problem voting this great pitcher into the Hall of Fame in 1994. All right, so when we think about the author's point of view, the author wrote this little section about Steve Carlton. So the author is going to give us clues to what his or her point of view is about Steve Carlton. And when I look at this paragraph, it's listing all the great things that Steve Carlton did. And in the last sentence, it even says voting this great pitcher into the Hall of Fame in 1994. So I believe that the author's point of view would be that Steve Carlton was a great pitcher. And all of the evidence in here would be all of the games he won, all of the averages and the strikeouts that he had, the awards and all of those things kind of tell me that the author believes that Steve Carlton is a great pitcher. That would be the author's point of view or perspective. And we see lots of proof in here, and then the thought and opinion at the bottom, voting this great pitcher into the Hall of Fame in 1994. So I want you to think about it. After hearing this information about Steve Carlton, what's your point of view? Does it sound to you like he was a great pitcher? If so, then you have a similar point of view as the author. If not, then your point of view is different than the author's, and that is okay. All right, so let's review. Point of view. Everybody has the ability to have a point of view about something. That would be your thoughts and opinions about something. And remember, that something can be a person, a place, a thing. It can be an issue. It can be an idea. It's just something, okay? And your point of view is your perspective about that. And when authors write, we can see what their point of views are. We can look for clues and figure out what the author's point of view is. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off now. I hope that you have a great week ahead. We miss you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.